I once had a passenger who paid me entirely in loose change, and when I counted it, it added up to exactly $2.07. I once had a passenger who asked me to drive him to the nearest ATM. I told him, "Sorry, I'm not a bank." He just stared at me. It was hilarious. I once had a passenger who said they were in a hurry, so I told them, "No problem, I know a shortcut." Then I promptly drove past a bakery. You know, being a taxi driver, you meet all sorts of interesting people. And sometimes the stories they share are wilder than anything you could imagine. So, this guy gets in my taxi, right? And he tells me, "Follow that car." I said, "Sure, but can you point to it? I'm colorblind." I once had a passenger who paid his fare entirely in pocket lint and a half-eaten bag of potato chips. He said it was artisanal payment. You wouldn't believe the stories I've heard in this taxi. One time, I had a passenger who paid me entirely in riddles, and another who swore they were from the future. Why did the taxi driver break up with the GPS? Because he said, "I'm tired of you telling me where to go." Why did the taxi driver break up with the GPS? Because he couldn't stand being told where to go all the time. So, I pick up this passenger, right? She gets in, all prim and proper, and says, "Take me to the moon." I tell her, "Lady, I'm a taxi." So, I pick up this guy, right? He tells me, "Take me somewhere I've never been before." I looked at him, said, "All right, hop in the back of my cab." Why did the taxi driver break up with the car? Because he said it was too driven and never wanted to just stop and relax. I once had a passenger who paid their entire fare with a single, massive, antique coin. It was like something out of a pirate movie. Why did the taxi driver break up with the GPS? Because it kept telling him to take a different route in life. It was a bumpy ride, but worth it. Why did the taxi driver break up with the GPS? Because he said, "I'm tired of you telling me where to go." I once had a passenger who asked me to drive them to the moon. I told them my taxi isn't quite equipped for that, but I could get them to the airport to catch a flight. Road trip. Are you ready for an adventure? I've packed snacks and we have our favorite playlist ready for an unforgettable journey. So I was driving, and suddenly my tires turned into giant sprinkle-covered donuts. Why did the cloud break up with the sky? Because it felt too much pressure to always be bright. Thanks for watching. If you like this type of content, please share, like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Your support truly helps the channel grow, and we appreciate every single one of you.
9